know that we've started and maybe people will start trickling in. So we are
Okay.
recording right now, but let's just wait a few minutes. We still don't have anyone in here. So again, like I said, let's just wait so and if by then we still have 0 attendees, then we'll just
Okay.
reschedule it. Maybe next week. Maybe we
Yeah.
can do it like a couple of days before the other one,
Okay.
if you have any
Next,
time next
well,
week.
next week's is Mondays, isn't it? Isn't it on Monday the 18th, or what day is next week's?
No, it's Monday the 25th.
25th. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we could do it like the 20th or the 21st next week. I'm open on either one of those days. Even the 22nd, I'm open on that day as well. You froze on me, Gilles. Are you there? Yep, there you go. I
Hey,
lost you for a second.
no, that was me. My
Okay,
connection went dead. So we have a couple
okay.
of people here. We have Sam Ryan and Scott Bird.
Oh, my two favorites.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gilles Bignolis. Thank you for coming to this afternoon's webinar on sealing with StoneTech. This is actually the second installment of our StoneTech webinar series at possibly 4. We're definitely a third, but now we're thinking about doing a 4th. With me, as always, for our StoneTech webinar series, my esteemed colleague Jennifer Aleman is here. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Gilles. Hi, guys.
So Jennifer's been with us for, what is it, 7 or 8 years now, Jen?
LATICRETE and 19 total for StoneTech.
Yeah, so Jennifer is hands are the absolute resident expert when it comes to anything related to StoneTech. Not only is Jennifer, very involved in the tech service aspect of it, but she's also very involved in the product management and the product development of this whole series. So she knows everything there is to know about the StoneTech line. Just so you know, we have about 45 minutes worth of content to present to you today. If you have any questions during our webinar, please do use the Q&A section. I will be monitoring that throughout the whole presentation, and we'll have a little bit of time after the presentation for discussion anyway. If for some reason we don't get to your question, I doubt that very much, but be assured that we will reach out to you by email. This whole presentation is currently being recorded. So if you need a copy of the presentation, please let me know and we will make it available to you. So Jennifer, you're already sharing your screen. I will let you start whenever you're ready.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Gilles. And thank you guys for everyone taking this time to attend today. So today we're going to go over sealing with the StoneTech and just the product knowledge on the different sealers that we have on our line and how we use them, and some troubleshooting with these products as well. Okay, I want to start off by first acknowledging the package change. Diane's done a great job in redoing our packaging and updating our labels. And a lot of you guys have probably already seen this, but our old ones, they were the brown gray bottles. Now we have these bright green bottles to grab that attention on the shelves. She's also added in, you can see in the top section up here, it says categories: protect, clean, and transform. This will help identify what type of product you have. If it is a cleaner, right underneath where the name of the product is, it'll have a bar there. If it's yellow, you're in the protect section. If it's green, we're in the clean. And if we're in the red, it's transform. Also, we've added in our product guarantees, whether it's a 1 year, 25, 10, or 15, that is also now on the bottles for the product satisfaction guarantee. And then of course, the water-based or low VOC solvent, that is also identified on the bottles to help, keep the customers understanding what they're using. There are some states that are VOC restricted, so this will help identify what it is without having to read the whole back label. Okay, so going into the product overview, we're going to talk about the protect, which our protect section can be they're all penetrating, but they can preserve the natural look generally. None of them are going to be transforming type sealers on this protect section. The treatments of the surfaces are going to protect from, water-based, oil-based stains. It can be used interior, exterior, grouts, and natural stone. Okay. So what is a sealer? There's a couple of different types of sealers that you're going to hear in the industry. I apologize, my screen is going crazy. We have either going to be penetrating or impregnating, or you're going to have topical and film forming. Okay, so on our protect section, all of our sealers are going to be penetrating and impregnating. We will have no film forming regular sealers on our line. Okay, those are all going to be our transformers. So our bulletproof and heavy duty sealer, all those are going to be called penetrating and impregnating. This is where the active ingredients absorb into the substrate, and they're going to give you a microbond or penetrate deep into the stone, giving you that water and oil repellency. This is important to know because if you have a moisture issue, these particular sealers are what we call breathable. So they will allow that moisture to evaporate out. Our topical or film formers, which we covered on our transform section, those create a barrier over the surface, and those are not breathable. Okay, and those typically add a shine or low shine and transform the stone. Okay, so here's an example of the substrate. I don't know why that keeps doing that, I apologize. Here's an example of the substrate, and as you can see, there's a stone. The sealers will allow that vapor transmission. So the red is the sealer penetrating into the stone, and if moisture is coming up from underneath, or if it sat on the stone long enough and it eventually penetrated, the sealer will allow it to evaporate out. It might be a little bit slow in doing so, but it will allow it. It's not going to trap that in there and cause hydrostatic pressure or anything like that. Okay, so the sealer chemistry, we have a fluorochemical active ingredient in our water-based sealers. They can be either water-based or solvent-based. So we have like Bulletproof, for example, for the water-based, and Impregnator Pro for a solvent-based, but both of those have a fluorochemical or type of fluorochemical in it. They're both going to give you that water and oil repellency, and they preserve the natural look of the stone. So the best choice for general sealing, if we don't have specifics on if it's going, by a pool coping or necessarily in a shower, we can always count on a fluorochemical technology to give you that water and oil repellency. Here's a list again of the water-based products: the Bulletproof heavy duty sealer, stone tile grout sealer, heavy duty grout sealer, and quartz and porcelain tile sealer. And then we have the solvent-based Impregnator Pro. Okay, now this is just for the fluorochemical side. The next slide that we get into is going to be for the silicone siloxane side. That's going to be our saltwater resistant sealer. It's a water-based, but it has a silicone siloxane chemistry to it. And then we have our heavy duty exterior sealer that's going to give you, these are both hydrophobic. It's going to give you excellent water resistance, water repellency, UV ray resistance there. They don't really offer very much oil repellency like the fluorochemicals do. This again, stain resistance, water repellency is what we call hydrophobic sealers. And that they have silicone siloxane. That in itself generally is what's going to give us that UV stability. Okay, so water-based sealers, LATICRETE really is focusing on replacing a lot of the solvent-based sealers with equivalent water-based sealers, but that's not to say we're going to take all solvent-based sealers away. But we want to be able to offer water-based products that can perform just as well as our solvent-based and meet the low VOC and the low emissions. Again, there's a lot of states that are VOC restricted now. So can you get a solvent-based? Yes, but that does restrict on the sizing that we are going to be able to get to our consumers. So the gallons, 5 gallons with Impregnator Pro or Enhancer Pro or heavy duty exterior, we will be limited to only selling quart containers. Many other states, there is no restriction, so we can sell all sizes. So it's so important for us to be able to develop water-based products that can perform just as well, and give us those same benefits as the solvent-based products. So surface preparation is key to any type of sealing, whether it's a transform or protect. We want to make sure our surfaces are clean and dry, and really well maintained before we go and put these products on there. When we're cleaning the substrate, when we're working with our Bulletproof and heavy duty, those type of products, we can clean with water the same day. We don't mind that there's a little water in the substrate when we clean. So that's how we can get in, clean the substrate and still the same day. But there are solvent-based products, heavy duty exterior, the silicone siloxane type products, that it's so important. Those have to be dry. So we have to clean with water, well, as little as water as possible, to make sure that substrate is dry so we can try to seal, hopefully by the end of that day. Okay, most new installs though generally won't need a water cleanup. Sometimes we can go down with a little bit of acetone or just a dry sweep, and that would be good enough. But just making sure we're starting out with a clean canvas so we can get the best benefits of whatever product we are using is very important. Again, some water-based sealers, Bulletproof, heavy duty grout sealer, quartz and porcelain tiles. After 1 hour of standing water being wiped up, it can generally be applied. As long as there's no puddling, you're good to go. So we can have a damp surface. When we're dealing with countertops, any seams or joints, we want to make sure any excess glue, silicone, sealants are removed, any caulking. Any of those residues that are on there will prevent the sealers from properly penetrating in. Okay, and when that happens, we're not getting the full protection that we want, and we can generally end up with staining around that area. So make sure that the seaming process is done properly. Tape off, if you can, before caulking or using a silicone sealant, so that when we pull the tape up, we have a clear, clean surface there. Okay, so proper application techniques to consider when you're using our products. Most of our products are very user-friendly. We can manipulate the application time generally with the way we put it on without having too much of an issue, a residue issue. But work in manageable sections. If we try to put, 1,000 square foot down a sealer, not going by the proper technique, then we can end up with a residue issue that's going to take longer to clean. So divide this section out, 6 to 10 foot areas, roll it out, a good liberal coat. All of our products, we want you to have a good liberal application so the product has time to really penetrate in and set up and do what it needs to do. Generally, we'd like to have it on the surface so we can wipe it off well. Okay, there are some substrates that will just suck it right in, and that's okay. Use your brush, your applicator to keep the surface wet with the product. So when we apply the sealer, wet the entire 6 to 10 foot area. Do your vertical sections separately. So, work on your vertical, work on your flooring at different times, but apply it evenly the best you can with a, good nap roll, medium to low nap roller, paintbrush, paint pad. You could even do a bug pump up spray, like the Hudson bug pump up sprays in some of these products. Follow the label applications. We will indicate on each product which one you can do that for. Okay, so keep the surface wet for the required dwell time. Generally, it's about a 10-minute dwell time is what we like to see. Again, you can roll your paint roller, paint pad, brush over the surface, redistributing. You will notice the floor chemical sealers, they do like to pull. So when you roll it out, you can see it sucking in little sections. And that's where you're going to take advantage of your roller and redistribute that out. Okay. Whatever we do, we want to make sure that we're always paying attention to what we have on your substrate, not letting it dry on the surface. Okay. If you start noticing it drying, again, wet it with, you don't have to add more product. Just put your roller back on it to re-wet it, or pull from another section that it might be standing. Stones, natural stones, the porosity is all different. So sometimes it might pull in and absorb in quicker in one area, and that other area might be a little bit more dense, and it's just kind of hanging out on the surface. So we can use that to our advantage and move it around. Okay, so we don't allow that to dry on the surface. Again, if we try to do that 1,000 square foot all in one application, we're not going to pay attention to, is it drying on the surface? So definitely, you know, take advantage and use that 6 to 10 foot section. Okay. We want to make sure we wipe the surface clean and dry to the touch. At the end of the dwell time, which again, generally it's about a 10 to 20 minutes dwell time, just depending on the type of substrate, but I found 10 minutes generally is a good key time to start really getting ready to wipe it off. So at the end of the dwell time, remove all of the sealer until your surface is dry to the touch. It shouldn't leave anything shiny. You should be able to put your hand down and wipe it and feel nothing on your hand. So clean and dry. When we're wiping it, rotate your towels. Okay, if not, we're just going to keep redistributing the sealer back down. Okay, so the first product we're going to talk about is the Bulletproof sealer. This is our premium water-based penetrating sealer. It has a fluorochemical technology to it. This product does give us a really good micro bond in the substrate once it absorbs in. It's going to give us our max stain resistance from water and oil-based stains. Really good product to use when we have a substrate that is very porous. So your slates, your saltillos, your flagstones, this is the type of product that you would want to use. A honed, you know, oriented or veined granite, a honed marble. Bulletproof can absorb in and not require as many coats as some of the other products. Okay, really good for the environment. Again, it's a water-based, low VOC. I think we're looking at about maybe 12 grams per liter. This product can be used on interior, exterior use. So it does perform exterior. Now, we're not going to get, you know, 10, 20 years exterior just due to the UV rays, but we can add more sealer on as we need. Okay, most areas, you're probably looking at about maybe a 3 to 4 year exterior life expectancy before we're needing to add more sealer on. Okay, interior, you can get up to a lifetime with proper maintenance. So what does that mean? So our lifetime product guarantee is we're telling you that this product is going to work the way it's designed to work without any type of manufacturing issues there, so long as you properly maintain it. So using products that are safe for the stone as well as safe for the product, neutral based cleaners. Now, if we put this on and you come back and clean with bleach and water, vinegar and water every other day, then of course that's going to strip it off. But if we're cleaning with a neutral or gentle cleaner like the stone and tile cleaner or the revitalizer, that's going to preserve that sealer for the life of that installation. Some areas you might need to put another coat on. It might be an area that has more high traffic, but the rest of it with proper maintenance should have a lifetime product satisfaction on that. Okay, what type of surfaces do we recommend? Natural stone. You can do tile and grout, but that one can be a little bit of an overkill. But there are some tiles that have, you know, some micro absorbency there, or really porous cement-based grouts. But masonry, so you're looking at honed marble, your honed granite, or granites that are veined or oriented. Even if they are polished, it's still Bulletproof is a great choice for that. Limestone, sandstone family, quartzite, and saltillo tile. So long as they don't want to transform the saltillo, the Bulletproof is a good choice for that. Okay, we do have the Bulletproof available from pints all the way to 5 gallons, 55-gallon drums if needed. So this is a really good product. We have in the fluorochemical technology, we have the Bulletproof, which we say is the best. Then we have our heavy duty sealer and our stone and tile sealer. Okay, so just like the Bulletproof, everything that I said for that is going to apply for that heavy duty sealer. Okay, the only difference between the Bulletproof, the heavy duty sealer, and the stone and tile and grout sealer, and you're going to see them labeled good, better, best, is the amount of solids, the sealant agents that are in these products. So Bulletproof is the most concentrated, then the heavy duty sealer. That's going to be for your oriented granite or even your slates. This still would be a good choice. If we don't know the porosity of a substrate, you can do the heavy duty sealer. We might just need 2 or 3 coats, as to where Bulletproof, maybe we would have only needed 1 or 2. Okay, we can still use, we're not going to lose that performance of the sealers. So I just want to make sure, anytime I talk to my customers and they're trying to decide which one, which one is the better, you have good, better, best on here. If they use STONETECH Grout Sealer, I don't want them to think that they're going to lose performance, because they still will have the same fluorochemical in there. It's just not as much, and you're going to need more coats than if we would have used Bulletproof. So for example, I'm going to pull out slate, because you can see that one's located on each one of these. Okay, we'll do slate, for example, right? Maybe we're going to end up using 3 to 4 coats of the STONETECH sealer. We can do like a multicolor slate. Heavy duty sealer, you're probably looking anywhere from 2 to 3 coats, and Bulletproof is 1 to 2. So it's the same sealant that's going in each one of these. It's just the concentration, so we might need more coats. Now, with any of these sealers that we have, we never want to go over 5 coats. So if you have a customer say, well, I'm putting on 10 coats, okay, that is a no-no for these products. Okay, we want to make sure we're staying under those 4 coats, 4 or 5 coats. That's the max. And not only that, our sealers shouldn't go that high in coats. If they are having to put that many on, generally it's an application issue. They're not properly putting it on with what we're telling them to, which again, we're very strict on what we want them to use. It's going to be a low to medium nap roller. It's going to be a paint pad, a paintbrush. Those are generally what we tell you to use. We don't want them using t-shirts or sponges or towels to put that on. To wipe it up, okay, we can use towels to wipe that up, but not to put it on. Okay, I have customers who call all the time that they're, I put on Bulletproof and I put 4 coats and it's still absorbing water. What happens is they're putting it on with sponges, they're putting it on with towels, they're not letting it dwell, and they're just leaving it. Okay, so what ends up happening is what they used to put it on has now absorbed the fluorochemical. So we have a really good sealed sponge, or a beach towel, and not on the substrate. So with these products, you got your good, your better, your best. Doesn't mean Bulletproof is going to work just beyond over the sealer or the heavy duty sealer. It's just what's best for that substrate. Same sealant agent. It's best because we're not going to use as many coats. We're not going to waste the product. It's going to properly seal it if you put it on correctly. So know your stone, know in your tile, and know the product you're using, and you're going to have a good sealed substrate there. Okay. All of these, another perk for them is they're available all over because they are water-based. Again, they're around 12 grams per liter. So if they put it on right, they're not going to have an issue. So what happens if they put it on wrong? Let's say they did put it on with the t-shirt and we did get the call, it's 10 coats later and they're not sealing. Okay, I wouldn't have them necessarily strip it off, but I would have them put a very good liberal coat if there's no residue down. Okay, put a liberal coat, let it stay, and kind of start from the beginning. If we have a residue issue, then I go to my timetable. We have a 24-hour time, a 48-hour, and 72 hours and beyond. From the first 24 hours, if we put more of this, any one of these products, back down and let it sit 2 to 3 minutes, scrub it with a nylon brush or pad, wipe it completely dry, that generally redissolves that residue that's there. Okay. If it's the 48-hour mark, you can try to put more product down, might not work. We might end up having to do a very diluted amount of Cleansol. So I'm talking like a 1 to 8 type of dilution, just enough to kind of break down that fluorochemical that's dried on the outside. Okay. And if we do that, most often we don't have to reseal, but there's a chance that we might. Okay. After 72 hours, we're using Cleansol. We're doing about a 1 to 4 or a 1 to 2 dilution, letting it sit, scrub it, wipe it, rinse it, and we are going to have to reseal. Okay. So with these 3 sealers, if we're still getting water absorption going in, we need to reseal. We don't have enough product on. If we're getting a whitish color residue, they most likely didn't wipe the product off, or they put so much on there that, and they're doing large areas at a time, that it's drying on the surface. Either which way, it is fixable. That is where this product comes in as user friendly. Okay. So the quartz and porcelain tile sealer, just like the other three, it is still the same type of fluoride chemical we use. It's not as concentrated, and it's not designed to be as concentrated because we are putting it on substrates that don't have a lot of porosity. So quartz and porcelain, if the manufacturer tells them they need to seal, this is the product we would use. Okay, and it'll go into grout as well. There's enough of the fluorochemical to accommodate those micropores that are in these substrates. All the other stones, your marble, granites, and things like that, would it work? Yes, but you're going to use so many coats of this that it's just not something we would want them to do. We want them to use the stone sealers for that. The quartz and porcelain tile is designed just for that. Substrates that are not really porous, okay? So micropores, that's where we really want to focus this product on. Okay, then we have our Impregnator Pro. So the Impregnator Pro is the solvent-based version to the water-based heavy-duty sealer. If you ever get a customer that asks you, you know, I want a solvent-based product comparable to the water-based line or vice versa, Impregnator Pro and heavy-duty sealer, with the amount of sealant agents that go into the stone, those two are comparable to each other. So you're going to get the water and oil repellency, still a fluorochemical technology, can use interior, exterior, and goes to the VOC restricted states. Again, this is limited to certain states. You can get it on the other states, you just got to do it in smaller sizing, which is the quarts or pints. Okay, so if we're not in a VOC restricted, you can get 5 gallons and gallons available. All natural stone, tile, grout, you can use this on, so long as this, you know, the grout's acceptable of a sealer. There are some grouts that it already has sealant agents in there, and maybe the manufacturer don't want you to use a sealer. So it'll say on there if you can use a sealer or not. Impregnator Pro is a really good choice for that. Does have a product, 25-year product satisfaction guarantee. Again, with proper maintenance, it can last up to that. We can come back and use Stone and Tile Cleaner or Revitalizer. That Revitalizer has some of that fluorochemical technology built in, so it's adding any place the Impregnator Pro is degraded from a spill, that Revitalizer will add that back in there. Okay, so with these sealers that I have listed so far, all of these, again, are impregnating. They're all going to give you water, oil repellency, give you some great stain resistance. But one thing none of these will do is give you any acid etching resistance, okay? So these are all designed to buy you time to wipe a stain up. If they spill a glass of wine on a polished marble, you got to clean it up, you know, quickly. If not, you're going to have that chemical reaction that happens. None of these sealers will stop that, but all of these sealers will help minimize that staining from that wine from getting into the stone. Now, if they spill it and leave it, of course, that's going to degrade it and eventually absorb in. We have cleaners to help remove that. Okay, so they preserve the natural look, give you that water and oil repellency. Impregnator Pro, we do like to have the surface dry before putting it on so that water doesn't push that solvent back to the surface. We want that Impregnator Pro to penetrate deep into the stone. As to where the other sealers I mentioned, they have microbond. Once they absorb in, they start bonding to the inside capillaries of a substrate. Impregnator Pro is going to penetrate deeper into the stone. So it's going to fill up the capillaries with the sealer as opposed to the other ones that are microbonding in the first few millimeters of the stone. The Impregnator Pro is going to fill deep into the stone. With the Impregnator Pro, I do like to use this one in cocktails as needed. So if we have a situation where we've used the heavy duty sealer or Bulletproof or any water-based sealer, but it's not still, the porosity is still not there and they need to get some more sealer on there and they don't want to do water-based, we can do the Impregnator Pro over that. Or even our transformers, let's say we had Enhancer Pro down, but we need oil repellency. We can't put a water-based over that, but we can put Impregnator Pro over Enhancer Pro to give us that oil repellency. So I do use the Impregnator Pro a lot in different situations, not just sealing, but in my cocktail region. As to where the water bases, we don't or cannot really use those, but we can that Impregnator Pro. Okay, there's a good perk for this product. Okay, heavy duty grout sealer. And this is designed exactly for what it is, grout. I get customers all the time who want to use it on stone, though it probably will give you some performance there, not the performance we want you to have. So we're going to always push you back to a stone and tile sealer like Bulletproof or Heavy Duty or Impregnator Pro. If you tell me you have marble and grout, I'm going to push you there. I'm not going to, advise you to use this one. Now, if you have tile, ceramic tile, porcelain tile with the cement-based grout, absolutely, this is the product you need. You don't have to spend all the money that we would on Bulletproof when we're going to wipe all those floor chemicals off. That's what the heavy duty sealer grout sealer is designed to do. The amount of absorbency in the grout and that tile, this product is designed for that. Okay, interior, exterior use, water-based. It's going to preserve the natural look. If you get it on the tile, we're just wiping it off. All of the sealers that we mentioned today, none of our sealers do we put it on and leave it. We're going to always wipe it completely dry to the touch. Okay, so this is a great product to use. We do have it in the 24-ounce spray bottle as well as the quarts in gallons if needed. Okay. Then the next product we have is our stain protecting grout additive. This is a product that you use when you're mixing the grout. Now, there are specific grouts that you'd want to use this, and always follow the manufacturer of the grout's directions. If they say you can use a grout additive instead of water, this is the one you would use. This is going to mix in with the grout and give you that oil and water-based protection. It's not going to alter or change the color of the grout, so we're not going to transform it to a darker appearance. It should preserve that natural look. It is a water-based product. Now, on the LATICRETE side, we are saying you can use it with the permacolor grout only. You don't want to use this with Permacolor Select or any of our epoxy grouts. There are other grout manufacturers that they're unmodified grouts. They're good with using a grout additive, but they're very specific. On their grouts, it will say, do not use a grout additive. But if you can, this is the product that you would want to use. We sell it in 27 ounce and 64 ounces. So you will just gauge by the size of packaging you have to how much water is needed. You would do that water amount in the grout additive. Okay, so just follow the manufacturer directions. Really good product if used properly. So I do have some people try to put it in grouts that it's not designed for, but when they use it in the right ones, it does a really, really good job. It gets a contractor in and out of the job the same day. Okay. Another product we have is called a grout release. Now, this product is designed to seal the grout, give you a temporary sealer before grouting. All of the other sealers we talked about today, you can use as a grout release, but you have to give it a 24-hour cure time before you grout. This product, the grout release, you can put it on, wait about 4 hours, and then you can come back and grout. This is going to give you, again, time so you can get in there, grout it, and get out the same day. Okay, now we are very specific on the recommended surfaces. You cannot use this on ceramic or porcelain tile or any dense or low absorbency stone. It has to be natural stone, marble, limestone, travertine, bluestone, concrete. Great, works excellent for that. Gets you in and out. Ceramic, porcelain, quarry tile, cannot use. If you put it on there, you will run the risk of a chemical reaction. Typically, it's like an iridescent look you get. It's really hard to clean, okay? But if it's a natural stone, great product to use. Some people don't like to use the sealer because it's an expensive grout release. Your grout's alkalinity is going to degrade whatever we do have on there. So that's why they like to go with the grout release. So 4-hour cure time, and then you can start grouting. Okay, heavy duty exterior sealer. Now this is a solvent-based sealer that does have a silicone siloxane mix to it. It's what we call a hydrophobic sealer. It's designed to give you the best water repellency there is. Now it's not a waterproofing product, so don't put this down in place of a waterproofing. You still want to have the proper waterproofing. This product is also not designed to be in submerged. It's for a swimming pool. You can do the pool coping and everything above the water. Okay, anything above ponds, we're good. This product is, again, going to preserve the natural look and give you the max water repellency, and it's UV stable. So it's not going to stop the stone from fading, but the sealer itself is not going to degrade as quick as like the floor chemicals, okay? Just because of the silicone siloxane mix that's in there. So when we say UV resistant, the sealer itself will hold up to UV resistance. And I do get that question a lot. They expect the sealers to stop the stone from fading. There are some stones that do tend to fade in UV rays. And the sealer's not going to stop that, but it's going to hold up to give you that performance you need. Generally, we say it's about 5 to 7 years, but I've seen it last anywhere from 10 to 15 with proper maintenance. Of course, some areas will last longer if it's a shaded or patio area opposed to someplace that's exposed. Okay. With this product, the application technique is very important, and we do put all of the cautions on the label. This stone has to be completely dry prior to, during, and after. So the day that you're putting it on, it needs to be dry during the application and at least 48 to 72 hours after. Because of the silicone siloxane mix, the amount of it that's in there doesn't like water. So if it gets wet, you will end up with a whitish color haze that's really hard to get off. Okay, but we do put that on the label. But if they put it on properly, you get some of the best water protection performance for so many years, and you're not going to have to come back and reapply as often as you would some of the other sealers on exterior. We also use this one in showers. So believe it or not, like we will seal a natural stone in a shower with Bulletproof or heavy duty sealer, but there's some areas that water likes to sit and hold sometimes in shower installations around the drain or in the corners. We'll come back and put a coat of this 24 hours after the other sealers have been down, just in those problematic areas. And it does amazing. So we have been cocktailing this product in shower installations, and it works really, really well. Okay. The next product we're going to talk about is the saltwater resistant sealer. So like the heavy duty exterior, it does all the same things except for this is a water-based version. So it has a lot of silicone siloxane built into this product. It's designed to give us the max protection from salt degradation and saltwater pools. The key to using this product, though, and to get the best performance from it, is to get it on a new installation. We want to make sure those pool copings are not already absorbed with salt. So it has to be a new install. We put this product on, and it's going to help minimize all that dirt and dusting they see at the bottom of the swimming pool. The sealer's not going to completely stop it, but it's going to really slow that degradation down from happening. If you have a swimming pool, saltwater pool that's already in place, it already has its salts absorbed, we would guide you from this one to our heavy duty exterior sealer. We would just have you go to that one versus this one. Does have to be a new installation only. Works great for any areas that we're going to have de-icing salts. So not just saltwater pools, but walkways, patios where we are using a lot of de-icing salt. This one will work really good for that. So any natural stone would work for this. If it's something that doesn't have natural absorbency to it, so tiles and so forth, you're not really going to get a lot of porosity. It has to be a really porous tile. So, and most of the time it's natural stone or some type of concrete or aggregate exterior. Okay. We sell this in 5-gallon containers. It's not restricted because it is a water-based, so we can ship it in many states. And this one doesn't have any oil repellency. It's only water repellency. So like heavy duty exterior, it is a hydrophobic sealer that's going to give us the max. If we need oil repellency on either one of these, remember when I talked about Impregnator Pro, you can put IP over heavy duty exterior sealer. With the saltwater resistant sealer, we have directions on there. If you need oil repellency, an hour after installation, we have a process to where you can massage in Bulletproof. So that is on the label. So if you need any guidance for that, you can always contact me, or you can reach out to the label on that and you'll see that application process. Okay, so proper application tools, again, very important. Low nap roller, paintbrush, or paint pad. I mean, that's pretty much it. Some of the other ones, you can use the low pressure Hudson pump up sprayers, but we want you to work in small areas at a time. Okay, how are we going to wipe it up? Microfiber, terry cloth, cotton t-shirts, anything that's absorbent is what we're going to use to wipe this up, completely dry to the touch. All of them have to be wiped dry to the touch. And then some other, equipment you might need, put it in the paint pans, roll it out, cover it with red rosin if we have construction going on. All the normal key equipments that you're going to use. Mask off any area that we don't want to get sealed. Because if we put any of these sealers down, especially the heavy duty exterior, the salt water, and another section we plan on transforming, if we don't take that off and protect it, the sealer can inhibit how a transformer will transform. So, or say you're going to paint a wall, it will inhibit that. So proper, techniques on keeping everything protected is key as well. Okay, so some potential issues you can run into: hazing, streaking, sticky spots. Again, the water-based sealers, the floor chemicals, if they don't wipe it off or it dries on the surface, or when they are wiping it off, if they're not rotating their towels, they're redistributing the sealer and they're not really wiping it off. Those generally dry with the hazing look to it. If we have streaks, that's typically when we're wiping it off. We're not really wiping it. We're just kind of, doing one area here and skipping a few, square feet, or the towels really absorbed with the sealer, so it streaks. So we can redissolve that again with more product, 2 to 3 minutes, 12 times scrub, wipe with a clean, dry towel, completely dry to the touch. Now, our solvent-based products like Impregnator Pro, heavy duty exterior, those, if they don't wipe the sealer off, that residue typically is more of a sticky, tacky feel to it. So generally put more of the product down with those, let that solvent redissolve it, or we can go into mineral spirits and put a little bit of that down, let it sit a minute or two, scrub it, wipe it completely dry to the touch. Okay. And then some of the do's and don'ts of sealings, again, follow the labels. If you don't have, you don't have the label for whatever reason and you have any questions, call LATICRETE. Will help guide you through it. We have our tech service line, we have our live chat, we have emails, or any of the reps will be able to help answer a lot of these questions for you as well. But read the directions, use the correct applicator, and definitely, use your personal protective equipment. Don't leave excess sealer on the surface, and wipe it clean and dry. Here's the phone number, and definitely don't hesitate to call us. Okay, the sooner we can get to an issue, the easier it's going to be for us to resolve that. Okay, I do want to mention, with the Bulletproof sealer, we do have a countertop protection program. It's called the Bulletproof Countertop Program. So we have a lot of this information on the website. I won't get into it too much here. I'm actually trying to get the information so we can do a whole webinar on just the program for the countertop, but we do have that available. So if you want to look into that more, you can definitely contact us and we can go over that with you, or you can contact the STONETECH sales rep. They have all the information for you as well, but we do have that available. It's the Bulletproof only. Okay. And then one last thing, we have the training and education on our LATICRETE University. We have training classes for each and every one of these products or groups, clean, protect, transform, on our website. Definitely take advantage of that. We have a couple of presentations on there for Know Your Stone, Know Its Care. And to me, that's the best advice I always give my customers when you're getting into learning how to, transform or protect a substrate, is learn the different types of stones that are out here so you can learn how to identify the best sealer or the proper maintenance program. Okay, so take advantage of that. LATICRETE University, my coworker Steve has done a great job in keeping that together for us and updated. And then again, our tech service is always here. But that's it for me, Gilles. Is there any questions?
First of all, thank you so much, Jennifer. That was a lot of information you shared with us, and I did learn some new things that I wasn't aware of. You referred to cocktailing quite a bit,
Mhm.
and that was new for me. So that was interesting.
Yes. And
Um,
I really want to do a presentation on, and that's what I was talking about earlier, on cocktailing or resolution, because I don't think a lot of people realize how one product, specifically Impregnator Pro, can take care of multiple needs to where maybe we don't have it on the directions of heavy duty exterior, but we have a process, right? A cocktail that
mhm,
we can't get that to happen.
gotcha. So I do have a couple of questions that came in. The first one is from Scott Bird, and he wanted to know how long to let the sealer dry between coats on Saltillo, specifically for Saltillo.
For that one, generally it's still about 25, 30 minutes. We are doing some testing to where we can see if we can drop that time down some,
Mhm.
because that has been a request. It's not completed yet, but just know we are testing that, and hopefully to get someone in and out of a job, even with Saltillo, our goal is to maybe get it to a 15 to 20 minutes between coats, because time is money, right?
Absolutely.
So, but for right now, we want to stick to that 25 to 30-minute mark.
Perfect. And then we had another question from Sam Ryan. He's asking us to walk him through the installation of Revitalizer.
Okay, so Revitalizer, this is going to be, you can use it every day. You can use it once a week. What we're going to do is we're going to spray it down, the countertop down. If you have an area that's soiled, so let's say we have dry spaghetti sauce, even though we're supposed to wipe it up, it didn't happen, right? You spray it down. It's not going to wipe off easily, right? It's crusty. But so let's spray it down. Let's let that area sit for about a minute or two while we go spray the rest of it down. But it's just a spray and wipe. The areas that are really soiled, give it an opportunity to wet it up some, and then use your scrub pad. I will tell you, those Mr. What are they called? Oh, oh gosh, the round smiley face nylon scrub pads that are out right now. You can get them at Target, Walmart. They're round and they have a smiley face. Those work amazing on my soiled areas. So I spray the Revitalizer, let it sit 2 to 3 minutes, scrub it with that, and wipe it, and it comes right off.
Okay, cool.
No rinsing is with this product, just so you know. It is a no rinse cleaner. And next week when we do the presentation, Sam,
Mhm.
we are going to go over all the cleaners, and I will touch more on that next week, but no rinsing. So just spray and wipe.
Gotcha. And we also had a question that I thought was interesting from Scott Bird a little earlier. He was asking what the big difference was between water and solvent-based. So I kind of answered it, but I wanted to hear it
Yeah.
in your words.
So that is just the carrier. Okay.
Yep.
That's not going to give us any of the sealant performance. That's going to determine how deep, basically, or how it's carried into the stone. So for example, I'm going to take Bulletproof and Impregnator Pro. They're both fluorochemicals. But it comes down to the technology of the sealant agent. One's a microbond, one's a full penetration. Impregnator Pro is solvent. It's going to dig it deep into the stone.
Mhm.
The water base, it still can dig it deep into the stone, but it's the water that's penetrating. So all it is a carrier. That's it.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought, but I'd rather hear it from the real expert. And that's the end of our questions. So Jennifer, I want to thank you again so much for taking the time to present this information to us. I thought it was great, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. As I mentioned before, this is only the second installment in the StoneTech series. So as Jen mentioned a couple of times, we will have a third installment on Monday the 25th at 2 p.m. And we're possibly going to have one or two more after that as well, depending on how much time Jennifer has to dedicate to this webinar series. But I want to thank everybody for being here this afternoon. If you have any questions regarding any of the materials that you heard from today or anything else, related to StoneTech or LATICRETE, do not hesitate to contact Tech Services. As Jen mentioned, we are available by phone. We are available by email. There's also a chat feature on the website. So you have plenty of ways to reach out to us. We are available by phone from 8 to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and all the way to 9 p.m. Eastern time on the chat. So there's plenty of opportunity to reach out to us. Please do not hesitate. Again, I want to take the time to thank everybody for being here. If you would like a copy of this presentation, I will make it available upon request. So let me know, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, whatever you want, and let us know and I'll share that with you. Again, Jennifer, thank you so much for all that great information that you shared with us. And I look forward to the next installment in a couple of weeks.
Right. Thanks, guys. You have a great day.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Have fun out there.